A sex offender trespasses a Norman apartment complex. U.S. COVID cases continue to rise. And it looks like we'll be wearing masks a while longer. This is OU Nightly. Hello, thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Chloe Sparks.
And I'm Kayla Davis. We begin tonight with a startling situation at a Norman apartment complex where many students live. Students say they found disturbing notes left on their car windshields, and the worst part is when they found out who left them. OU Nightly's Lindsey Gibbs is live at the cottages with the story.
Good afternoon, Chloe and Kayla. The girl and her boyfriend, threatened with obscene texts and photos, were eventually able to find out who the man was and where he was before calling the police. This isn't the first time the cottages has dealt with trespassers.
So I found a note. It was creepy and really disturbing.
Christina was coming back from class when she says she found an alarming note on her windshield. She later found out she wasn't the only one. Another resident on the property received the same note.
It's just really scary knowing that someone could be following me home as I'm walking home from class.
Norman police say a registered sex offender, Lucas Coupin, is behind it. He has a record, too, previously convicted of aggravated possession of child pornography. The affidavit released by Norman PD shows he used computers in the computer lab on property to look up images on the internet, which detectives say he then sent to the victim. The victim's boyfriend caught him and held him down until police arrived. Police say a warrant will be issued for charges of distributing obscene material, a threatening or harassing phone call, and using a computer to facilitate a crime. Security officers at the cottages advise keeping an eye out for anyone lurking around, and if you see anything suspicious, call the cottages security. Reporting live at the cottages, Lindsey Gibbs, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Lindsay. The United States has surpassed another major mark when it comes to COVID. The country surpassed 8 million mark today. The 7-day average of new daily cases is now above 53,000. With flu season approaching, officials say the twin-demic we're facing poses a larger risk in the upcoming winter months. The cold weather encourages an increase of indoor events rather than outside where it's safer. Health officials are urging people to practice social distancing, avoid large group gatherings, and always wear a mask when gathering with anyone you don't live with.
And overseas in Europe, COVID cases are also rising. Their numbers are increasing even faster than the U.S. Spain, France, the UK, the Netherlands, and Russia together recorded more than 70,000 new cases this week. That's more than 40% higher than the cases reported in the United States. Health experts are encouraging restrictions on the group gatherings, and some countries are looking at imposing mandates as the second wave of cases grows.
Back here at home, here's a look at Oklahoma's COVID numbers. The state health department reports 1,472 new cases in Oklahoma, with over 14,000 cases currently active. There are also 11 new deaths, making for a total of 1,154 total deaths in the state.
On a more local level, the city of Norman says there are 39 new cases today with a total of 440 active cases. The OU dashboard typically lags a day behind and reports 405 students and staff in isolation. 95 of those are from positive cases, with the rest either showing symptoms or having direct exposure to someone with the virus. While wearing a mask has become second nature to many, some are wondering just how much longer they'll be a part of our everyday fashion routine. Oklahoma City's Tuesday vote to extend the mask mandate until December 7th had many Norman residents concerned about what's next for our city. Although the Norman mask mandate is still set to expire on the 30th of November, Mayor Brea Clark says that they'll reevaluate the situation as it evolves.
Well, obviously, we'll look at the status of everything and the data and the recommendations at that time. So I can be very optimistic and say I hope we won't have to, but I know that if we do, if it's the safe thing to do, this council won't hesitate to do so.
Norman's original mandate was set in July with a deadline of November 30th to encompass all of OU's home football games. We'll keep you informed on updates concerning Norman's mask mandate as we receive more information.
And as the mask mandate increases the need for masks, some locals are taking matters into their own hands. OU Nightly's Zachary Volk had the pleasure of meeting one of these locals.
Since the coronavirus pandemic hit, masks have become an everyday item for many. To attend classes, you need a mask. Even just to shop, you need a mask. This has hurt some businesses, however, it's also pushed people like Mars to start their own.
See, the coronavirus pandemic has hurt many businesses. However, people like Mars have taken advantage, using home studios to make masks just like these.
However, it all started with humble beginnings.
My grandma is immunocompromised and she's very at risk, so I wanted to protect her. So I started sewing probably in about March or April just to make masks for my family, and then I started making them for all of my friends.
It quickly evolved into something more, though, with Mars even selling masks at the local craft fair.
It was pretty cool. It was the first time I've ever done anything like that, so I was really, really nervous. I think I woke up at like 5 a.m. that day and like just couldn't go back to sleep. But it was long, like not a whole lot of foot traffic, but I think for what I did and like how many people were there, I think I did relatively well.
And while Mars doesn't mind making $1, they really just want everyone to stay safe.
Even if it's just cotton, like it's better than nothing, you know? It's something that you can do to show that you care about other people and the people around you.
Zachary Volk, OU Nightly.
And with the pandemic still going on, it seems like these businesses are going to keep sticking around for the foreseeable future.
Oklahoma's academic health system got a new name. It's now known as OU Health. Under this new brand, all hospital names, the OU Health and Sciences Center, and all other centers will strive for a common focus of improving Oklahomans' health. This change has been in the works since 2018. Their primary goal is to better healthcare in Oklahoma through education and research. They now have a recently released website you can visit at www.ouhealth.com. This website makes it faster and easier for patients to get access to the healthcare they need. This transition will continue over the time to OU's health enterprise in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. And how about this fall weather so far?
It's great. I'm not just quite ready to pull out the puffy jackets. Let's hear if this weather is going to stay through the weekend with Jack Maney.
That's right, guys. I can't tell you how stoked I am about this map right here. 60s all across the board. It's about time we got rid of the heat for a little while and had some nice fall temperatures here. We're 66 here in Norman, 67 Oklahoma City. Really pretty much the same story all the way across the state, but we have a beautiful weekend in store, a little bit of a warm up before a cold front comes in on Sunday, and then we've got some more information about temperature swings coming up next week. We'll have all that coming up in just a few minutes.
It was the viewer battle of the year for 2 large television stations.
After the break, we'll tell you all about last night's town halls that went head to head.
Plus, the Peloton has helped thousands pedal their weight away.
But recently, the company has hit the brakes on some of their machines. More when we return. Questions are circling around Joe Biden's son's private business deals. Haley Weger has more on this story and other national headlines in today's News Center.
Thanks, Kayla. Investigations are underway to see if Hunter Biden's business deals are tied to Russians targeting his dad's presidential campaign. Articles from the New York Post revealed evidence of Hunter Biden and Ukraine dealings perceived to be a smoking gun. This is becoming part of a larger investigation into Russian disinformation dating back to just before President Trump's impeachment inquiry last year. The Russian disinformation campaign is attempting to tie Joe Biden to Hunter Biden's relationship with a Ukrainian company called Burisma. And last night, President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden participated in separate town halls at the same time. Many viewers were upset by the 2 town halls airing at the same time on different stations. According to ratings released this morning, Biden's 14.1 million viewers on ABC surpassed Trump's 13.1 million views on NBC MSNBC, and CNBC combined. The ratings only measure views on TV, but both town halls were also live streamed to phones, computers, and other devices. And Peloton issues a voluntary recall on pedals on over 27,000 of its exercise bikes. The recall comes after 120 incident reports of pedal breakages, with 13 of those causing leg injuries. Yesterday, in a blog post, Peloton acknowledged that pedals can break unexpectedly during use, which may result in injury. Peloton says if you bought your bike from July 2013 to May 2017, you may need to replace your pedals. And an endangered lemur that went missing from a zoo in California turned up this morning at a nearby playground. Chloe and Kayla, back to you guys.
Thank you, Haley. And as we approach what is normally homecoming season,
OU's beautiful mums have blossomed back on campus. The story is coming up.
If you walked outside today and you felt it out there, it is just wonderful. It looks like we might have finally kicked summer to the curb. It's gone with the wind. 66 degrees in Oklahoma City, light winds, basically no humidity to talk about. It's sunny and beautiful, and it's just a wonderful day. Fall outside, but summer could be coming back eventually. Right now we've got that we've got fall colors coming in the mountainous areas and far up north, and those are going to start coming this way by about November. Early part of November is when we're going to see our peak in fall foliage here in Norman. Our lows tonight, 46 degrees here in Norman. It's going to be kind of chilly tonight. If you're going out there for those football games tonight, you want to make sure that you're bundled up. It's going to be a little bit brisk. Winds are going to come up out of the south tomorrow for our highs in the 70s. It's going to be one of those picture-perfect days outside tomorrow. You want to make sure you get outside as much as you can tomorrow because it's just going to be wonderful. Our future temperatures, though, Saturday, it's going to be nice and warm, but then a cold front comes knocking on the door. That's going to be rolling through here about in the middle of the afternoon on Sunday, and that will bring cooler temperatures for the week ahead. Our allergy index, we're actually looking pretty good. Our weeds are not... Our weeds are kind of the worst part of it out there. We're 72 degrees here and then 69 on Sunday. A beautiful weekend, warming up through the week, and then we're into the 50s with another cold front towards the end of the week.
Kayla, it's a sure sign of fall on campus.
Yes, the mums are back on the South Oval here at OU. The mums were planted a few months ago in preparation for homecoming, but COVID-19 concerns canceled the activities. It's still a pretty sight for all students passing by on the way to class. And Big Friday Sports is next.
Good afternoon and congrats on making it to Friday. What's your reward? Big Friday Sports, of course.
That's right. We have a lot in store for you. I'm Sydney Baulier alongside Carly Vargas.
Well, Sydney, the Sooners are taking a bye week this week to refresh and prepare for the Horned Frogs next week. And I'm using this weekend to settle my heart from the adrenaline from the Red River Showdown.
Let's see how the Sooners are utilizing this week and the rest to approach the rest of the season in TCU.
These teams, offenses are not going to, wave the white flag. That's not going to happen, and especially quality opponents like we faced. And so, no, we have to finish it, and obviously play more consistently. There's a lot of good, but it's not good enough.
COVID-19 pandemic has thrown most of the sports world way off balance, especially at the high school level. Our own Matt Bowling shows us how one high school football team is adapting to a new reality.
At first glance, this looks like a typical football Friday night at Anadarko High School. The team is warming up, the band is assembling, and the crowd is starting to grow. Except it isn't Friday, it's Thursday. And this matchup came together with about 2 days' notice.
One of the things me and one of my assistants talked about was that there's really no flow this year because of the unknown.
Anadarko was originally scheduled to host Bridge Creek in a district game, but the Bobcats had to cancel due to quarantine. That left Coach Kent Jackson, who's also Anadarko's athletic director, scrambling to find a new opponent. Jackson reached out to Midwest City coach Darryl Hall and convinced Hall to send his JV team to Anadarko. Midwest City is Class 6A, while Anadarko is 3A, so both coaches were okay with the matchup. Anadarko dominated both sides of the ball in a 40-0 win, but just being able to play was perhaps the biggest victory for the Warriors.
It's important just to play. You know, our girls basketball team last spring was probably going to win it, and they shut it down and they didn't get to play. And you know, you really feel sorry for the kids because they don't get that back. And if we shut down football season, they won't get it back.
Throughout this season, Jackson has encouraged his players to stay away from people when they aren't at school, and has rearranged the Warriors' JV and varsity schedules so the teams aren't around each other.
It's scary because you never know, and you know, it comes down to this person sitting next to this person. If he did, then they're both quarantined.
Jackson says none of Anadarko's high school teams have had to quarantine yet, although some middle school teams have. Amid a pandemic that shows no signs of slowing down, Kent Jackson and his staff are striving to give their players and the community as much normalcy as possible.
We're not sitting there in the coach's office worried about, oh, if we get shut down. You know, we're taking it day by day, just like we would any other football season, just trying to keep it going.
Matt Bowling, OU Nightly.
Anadarko was scheduled to head to Douglas tonight, but that game was also canceled, so they'll now play at Dibble. And the MLB playoffs are in full swing and heating up.
Also next on Big Friday Sports, Carly and I will break down the NFL weekend and help you set your fantasy team. Stay tuned.
Sydney, just like in the NCAA, the NFL is seeing lots of positive tests.
That's right, Carly. The New England Patriots had to cancel their practice today due to another player testing positive. Last week, Cam Newton and Stephon Gilmore were among the Patriots out sick. They are scheduled to play Denver on Sunday.
And the coast is clear in Indianapolis after several players tested positive this morning. The Colts were able to reopen facilities after every retest came back negative. Sydney, it is already week 6 for the NFL.
It's just flying by. I'm getting old.
There's a lot of great games this weekend. Which one will you be watching?
Well, Carly, I sure am looking forward to the Packers taking on the Bucs in the sunny state of Florida. I'm always here for a matchup between Rodgers and Brady, and with Brady rocking the red and gold, this matchup is going to be especially exciting. Goodwin and Fournette will hopefully be back this weekend, giving Tom some offensive weapons to break down the Packer defense. Meanwhile, the Packers are 4-0, riding with one of the most efficient offensive schemes in the league. It's definitely going to be a guaranteed good matchup.
This one was a hard one for me, but this weekend I'm going to be watching the Browns take on the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Both teams have had great seasons so far. The Browns have gone 4-1 while the Steelers are 4-0. While both teams are putting up some great stats, I'm going to be a bit biased here and pick Baker with the Browns. You can watch it at high noon on Sunday.
And Carly, with the NFL comes fantasy football.
COVID spikes and injuries may be taking over, but it doesn't stop the fantasy from happening. Who's your pick for the week?
Well, Carly, going back to your game pick, the Steelers are at home against the Browns, and I think Juju Smith-Schuster is a player to put in on your lineup. Juju was full participant on practice on Thursday after dealing with a knee injury last week. He is due for a big game, and after Big Ben praised him for his work cheering on the team on the sideline, I think he'll be rewarded for some sweet passes in the end zone. I say start Juju.
I'm sticking with the Sooner boys this week. I'm going for Kyler Murray. He and the Cardinals are traveling to Dallas to take on former teammate CeeDee Lamb. Murray is breaking history, being the third QB to throw and run for at least 5 touchdowns in the first 5 games of the season. He's averaged 25.91 points thus far and is projected to get 21 more this week.
Well, the MLB playoffs are heating up and the Astros sure aren't letting go. The Tampa Bay Rays were up on the Astros 3-0 in the series, but the Stros have taken the last 2 games, making it much harder for the Rays to clinch their World Series spot. Last night, Houston took the Rays 4-3. Game 6 of the ALCS will be starting soon at 5:06 p.m.
Tonight's Game 5 for the NLCS, the Dodgers are looking to hang in for one more game after getting absolutely smothered by the Braves the past 2 games. Atlanta is leading the series 3-1 and it hasn't been close. The Braves won both Game 2 and 3 with double digits. And that's all we got for today. It's great seeing you. We'll be back here next time, same time, next week.
Same time, same place. Good night.